I've just walked up through the stream and came out through a very tight area. I could see a fish rising right over there underneath that one branch. So I've crouched down onto my knees. I've got some trees right behind me. My first cast is sort of a dump cast, just to get the line out. And the second cast loaded the rod and flipped the fly, and he took the fly on the very first presentation. This rod is extraordinarily easy to cast. This was a number 3 level fluorocarbon line, and like you saw, I flipped the line out there first just to get the line out in front of the rod, and then I did a high steeple cast, and it put the fly out directly with great ease, and it took the fish. This is the point of view of this fish, and in a minute I'll show you the third person. The fish wanted to keep trying to go into the cover, but the rod has enough power to pull him out. The rod is not designed for very large fish, but this fish comes in about a good 13, maybe even 14 inches, which is really quite a large fish for this size of stream. You can see the stream is rather small. The current is very slow here, but the rod handled the fish fine. I was using a 6X tippet. Here's the third person of that same fish. You can't see me hook him very well because the branches of the dogwood are in the way. But this gives you just a different point of view of my initial casts, and then how the rod manages the fish. It's a nice hybrid cut bow, had a lot of power. Okay, here I've moved upstream just a little bit. You can see that the majority of the stream is actually underneath the branches on the left, and so you have to target very precisely underneath the branches right there. And it took the first fish. This turned out to be a little rainbow. Again, this rod casts extraordinarily easily, and therefore targeting is very easy and very, very precise. I'm going to take the hook out and let him go, and in an uninterrupted series you'll see me cast again just a little bit further upstream from where that fish was taken and take another one. This one will be a little cutthroat. You'll see that I have to place the fly directly underneath the branches and without hooking the fly into the branches because the stream is so narrow through here because of the low water. So we made our first few casts and hooked the fish right there, right underneath those branches, and pull him out. This is a little bit more open, but still you can see a very narrow stream bed, and place the cast right above a rock hydraulic and hook the fish way up there. Now the fish has no room to run because the stream is so narrow. He wants to go underneath the branches, but tipping the rod to the right and left is able to keep him out of the various branches. Here's the point of view of that same fish that we just caught. Nice hybrid cut bow. And finally, here I've moved us up just a little bit. Again, you can see that the stream bed is extraordinarily narrow for a 13-foot rod, but this rod casts so precisely that with this line that it is not unwieldy, and as long as you have overhead clearance, this rod is amazing. So we're going to cast right above another hydraulic right there, place the fly and hook the fish. This one also comes in maybe about 13 inches, maybe even 14. I didn't measure them. Another hybrid cut bow. Quite a powerful fish, with the rod handled him just fine. I really didn't have a lot of room to tip the rod to the left here, so I just kept it vertical in fighting the fish and let the fish just sort of wear himself out. And here's the point of view of that same fish, so that you can see how he swam and then was netted and controlled. Anyway, this is an absolutely fantastic rod, probably one of the best I've ever fished. I have very few adjectives more that I can say about it. That's it.